What must a contractor have in order to submit a cyber incident report? A computer, internet access, medium assurance certificate, or a CAC reader? Most right answer. Thank you for taking a remote exam with us. Please answer these questions while your anxiety rises uncontrollably, wondering if you passed your exam. Oh, seriously? Woo! CMMC Certified Professional. What is it? How do I obtain it? Doesn't matter. These are all questions you have that I'm going to answer. So sit back, relax, and let's talk about the CCP. Welcome back to the channel. For those who don't know, I am a CCP, as seen here in the marketplace. However, I have not been on an assessment yet, but I hope to soon. First off, what is CCP? CCP is the entry-level certification into the CMMC ecosystem. There's 3 levels. You have your CCP, your CMMC Certified Assessor, or CCA, and then you have your Lead CCA. The CCP is there to assist the CCAs, and it is an important note that CCPs cannot assess controls or objectives. They cannot mark them as met or not met. But they can do things such as collect evidence and crosswalk evidence to controls and objectives. In order to become a CCP, there are a few prerequisites. First, you must either obtain a cyber or information technology degree, or have 2 years of experience in cyber, information technology, or assessment fields. They do note that military experience counts for this. You must also complete DoD mandatory CUI training. You'll be asked to present a resume through email, and I assume that this is how they verify the degree and experience. I've not heard of anyone being asked to prove the CUI training though. Doesn't mean they won't though. Now, it's important to note that you won't be asked for any of this information until after you pass the exam. And I say that to say, if you don't meet the requirements, then don't pursue this because it is not cheap. All right, now for the process of obtaining the certification. You must take an approved training course through an approved training provider or an ATP. I ended up going with Wise Technical Innovations' self-paced, instructor-guided CMMC CCP course because I couldn't really afford to take a week off work. This course is right at $2,000 and I think it's well worth it. Corn Weiss teaches the entire course and I highly recommend it if you're serious about obtaining your CCP. Now, ATPs must use curriculum from an approved publishing partner or an APP, and WTI utilizes Edwards Performance Solutions. I found it to be quite thorough and well put together. Material-wise, you'll receive a class links PDF, which is a bunch of CMMC resources, practice questions, and a workbook, which is essentially all of the slides that are presented throughout the course. At the beginning of the course, though, you will be asked to go enroll in the CCP flow. Now, in order to do this, we're going to go to the Cyber AB website, go to CMMC Ecosystem Roles, and Assessing and Certification. You're going to scroll all the way down to CCP Enroll here, select that, and this is where you will start. You'll begin your application, pay the $200 application fee, sign the Code of Professional Conduct, and the Cyber AB's agreements. That is when you will obtain your CPN number, which you will send to your training provider. They will update your status, and you'll be able to log in and see that your training is now marked off. In order to obtain your CPN number, come to your name, go to your dashboard, and come down to your membership. That's where your CPN number is. After that, you'll pay $275 for the exam and be good to go. After passing the exam, you'll receive an email from the CAICO to fill out your OF306 and HSPD 12 forms, along with a request for your resume. This is for your Tier 3 background check and verifying your eligibility. If you have a clearance, then you'll fill this out accordingly. I hold an active clearance and they've verified mine and updated it within 1 day. The final piece is going to be your Delta training. This curriculum and the exam are old and contain information that is no longer accurate. You must complete the Delta training, which is $100, takes about 2 hours, and updates you on what's changed. There is an open book quiz at the end, which you must pass in order to get credit, but it's not very hard. Well, that's it. Pay $2,600, take a course, sign some things, study, take a test, take another course and test, and pass a background check. I guess that is kind of a lot. You will study a lot for this exam. Most of my free time and some of my non-free time was spent studying. The good thing about this exam though is it's not like CISSP or Security X where you feel like there's information everywhere. Everything you need to know and study is condensed into just a few websites. As far as actually studying, follow the CCP blueprint. It tells you everything you need to know. One of the methods that I like to use is flashcards. I have over 200 for this exam. Deal with it later. I start with making sure that I know one, and then I'll add another, so on and so forth. The other thing that I like to do is listen to the documents. I have Speechify, and I really think it's worth it. I listened to the CMMC assessment process or the CAP so many times in my truck that my 17-year-old was actually able to tell me the basics of the phases, and she has no interest in this. I also listened to the assessment and scoping guides many times, mainly level 1 and level 2. Personal recommendation of mine, read the introduction of NIST 800-171 Rev 2. There's a lot of good information in there, possibly some things that you should know. There might be some things that you need to know, and also helps you understand more about the CMMC process. The final thing I did was take practice test. WTI offers several different practice exams. I also checked out Pocket Prep and Quizlet and a few other websites that offer exam study. I found that a lot of them had incorrect answers on their questions, so I only stuck with Edwards and WTI's questions. You have 3.5 hours to complete 170 multiple choice questions. You must score a minimum of 500 out of 800 in order to pass. There are 6 domains weighing between 5 and 35%. The domains are on the screen, and I've taken long enough to talk that I'm sure you've had time to read them by now, so we're not going to go back over them. The testing organization that the CACO utilizes is Measure Learning. Now, I forgot to mention earlier that after paying for the exam, you'll get an email with steps to schedule the exam. You can take it at home or in a facility, and as you know, I took it at home. It was a fairly easy experience, and I recommend it compared to going into a facility, which I've done 4 times for these types of exams. As far as exam difficulty, I found it to be quite challenging. You are looking for the most right answer, not just a right answer. You are looking for the most right answer. I think it does. Currently, there are only 1,449 CCPs and 670 CCAs at the time of filming this. The DIB is very big, and there's a lot of organizations that need to be assessed. Not to mention the Department of Energy may be on the hook for CMMC soon too. But don't tell anyone. With the prerequisites required for the exam, the mandatory course, along with the fact that ISACA is now the CACO, I would say that this is an A-tier exam, and I do recommend you getting it. But what's your opinion on the certification? Do you want it? Do you think it's worth it? Let me know in the comments so we can have a conversation. I want to get this one done and out pretty quick because I'm taking WTI CCA course in February, and I want to be able to do one of these videos on that one too without mixing up what I did for that one vice this one. As always, if you have any recommendations, please let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I will see you next time on Security.